I want to say thank you for sitting down with me and talking about your transitioning process from the military to civilian life. But before we get the session started, I'm going to take a few minutes and discuss with you about confidentiality. Confidentiality means that what takes place in this session stays in this session. Something like Vegas, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So that's like this session. What we talk about, what we discuss in this session stays in this session. The only way I would disclose what took place in this session if I thought that you were a harm to yourself or to others. That's the only way I would disclose it. So, do you understand confidentiality? You have any questions?
I don't understand.
Okay, perfect. Now, to start the session, I would like you to introduce yourself.
My name is Roy Kingston. I'm originally from Louisiana, but I've been in San Diego since 2002.
Okay.
I have a wife. I have three boys, two daughters.
Okay.
Um, what else? I pursued a degree once I got out the Navy also,
Okay.
and that's about it.
That's about it. Okay, can you tell me what degree did you pursue?
Yes, I got a bachelor's of art with a management with a concentration in human resource management.
Human resource management.
Yes,
So, separating from the military. Well, first, before I talk about you separating from the military, you said you got here. You've been here ever since 2002. Did I understand you to say that?
that's correct. I've been here since 2002.
So, are you thinking about living here in San Diego?
Uh, Not really.
Okay.
San Diego is a nice place to live, beautiful, but the cost of living and the traffic have got very bad since the time I first came here in 2002. So I'm thinking about relocating somewhere between probably Texas and Louisiana within probably the next year or so.
Next year or so?
Yes.
Okay. So, um, with all that being said, I must agree with you pertaining to the traffic in San Diego and the cost of living. Um, the cost of living is cheaper or less expensive, I guess you would say, more in the more southern states. So, have you thought about jobs, anything like that? Because you spoke on you getting your degree after you separated from the military. So when you separated from the military, did you have a job lined it up, or did you think about that at all?
Not really. I was thinking about. I know I needed a job to stay out here. So what I did was I used my post 9/11 benefits to go to school. That's how I
Okay,
got my bachelor's degree
okay,
using my post 9/11 benefits. But they ran out, and after four classes with my master's degree, so I went to the vocational rehabilitation in Mission Valley
okay,
at the VA and spoke to them about seeing if they could finish, help me pay for my master's degree.
okay.
But the counselor told me that would I prefer to find a job? Would I prefer to go to school?
Okay.
And I told him I prefer to work.
You wanted to work.
Yes,
Okay. So you finished your job. Well, you got your degree, and you started on your master's.
yes.
And you were still maintain. Well, you were still staying in the field of human resource.
Not really. I went to different programs. I did a work study at the La Jolla VA Medical Center. What they do was like make appointments for the veterans and stuff like that.
Okay.
They offered me a job there, but I did not want that job because I know I wanted to work in the human resource field.
Okay. You wanted to stay. Okay. You went to the VA and with the voc rehab with the work study program, right?
Mhm.
And you had the opportunity. Sound like that voc rehab program is can be beneficial to individuals separating from the military. because they're allowing you the opportunity to kind of try different fields or work in different fields to see what you like and what you don't like. Right?
Yes,
Am I understanding that
yes.
correctly? Okay. So once you did, you worked in 2 or 3 different areas at the VA. You were still wanting to do human resource, right?
Yes.
So can you tell me how? Well, question: did you get in the human resource field?
Yes, that's when I went to with the work study. I did not. I was working at the VA Medical Center in La Jolla,
Mm-hmm.
doing, like I say, making appointments and stuff for the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
So when I ran out of benefits, I went to the vocational rehab.
Okay.
And when I first spoke to the counselors, I told them, what my degree was in.
Okay.
And they told me, well, I think you'll be good once they see my resume and stuff and my background.
Okay.
They said, oh, I think you will be good in human resource. But there's another counselor there. He said, I have this other program
Mm-hmm.
called fiduciary,
Okay.
uh, which is another program. So I decided to go that route because they advance very quickly.
Okay. Okay. So now, with you transitioning from the military, sounds like that. Okay, you retired. So retiring from the military, you have a income that's guaranteed to come. So you wasn't stressing out about paying your making your finances or making your rent or anything like that. Am I correct to assume that?
Well,
Or can you explain to me
oh,
about that
sorry.
one?
Okay. Here in San Diego,
Uh huh.
yeah, you need another income. You
Okay.
can't just live off the income that you have because it's so expensive here. So
Oh,
I know I had to get back into the workforce.
okay.
If I was going to stay out here, I knew I had to get a job. If
Okay.
I was somewhere else, like down south, I
Mhm.
wouldn't have really needed a job because my
Okay.
benefits would have covered that. But out here, it didn't cover everything. So I know I had to get a job.
Okay. So was the process was it stressful? Because like the vote, from what I'm understanding, what you're saying, the vote rehab really helped you out a lot. With finding a good fit for you, helping you decide. Do I really want to do the fiduciary? Do I really want to be an admin, or do I really want to be, where I got my degree is in human resource? Is this where I really want to be at? So, can you tell me your opinion of how helpful the VA, the voc rehab program was for you with your transitioning process?
Okay, the bulk rehab, what it do, it give you experience.
Okay,
And in today's market, you need experience.
okay,
A degree is good to have, but what they're looking for today is experience on the job training.
okay,
So after being there for 1 year, the Human Resource Office, they eventually hired me in
oh,
January.
really?
Yes,
Okay, all right,
it's due because of the experience I had been working, doing the job that they told me to do
uh-huh.
to bring you up into the human resource field.
Okay, so the voc rehab was really instrumental in you getting your job that you currently have now. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so your transition process. So you didn't have a job when you separated from the military, when you retired. You did not have a job.
No, I did not.
Okay, so the voc rehab kind of filled in the gaps, helping you get that experience, helping you get to the next level. Your military experience and skills, how did that come into play with you getting your job and transitioning into the civilian world?
The military skills are good to have. It's good to have when you go for your degree,
Okay.
but when you go out into the job market, civilian job market, they do things a little different, a whole lot different than we do it in the military.
Okay.
So you really have to get experience in doing the way they do it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what I had to do. I had to get the experience in doing it the way that they did it. because every place you go to is different.
Okay. So now I'm really understanding the process. Okay, your transitioning process from the military over to civilian world. The voc rehab, they really was that glue, that bond, or that bridge. I'm gonna say that bridge that got you over the gap of your civil military training, military skills to that civilian workforce skills. So they kind of bridged it. Once all the bridges, once you cross the bridge, the transitioning process, once you got across that bridge to the civilian world, then you was ready to get a job. And rehab was really instrumental in you getting that process done because you use your GI Bill right to get your degree. And then after that, but rehab was willing to step in and to help you finish your degree, process your master's degree, or help you get that experience that you needed to actually get that job, utilize that degree that you worked so hard to get after separating from the military, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So you separating your whole process of separating from the military, transitioning from the military to civilian life, um, in your opinion, would it have been difficult if you didn't have the voc rehab helping you?
The main thing dealing with getting a job today is networking.
Okay,
You really got to know someone to get a job.
okay,
Don't matter if you got a bachelor's degree, master's degree, you really got to know someone. And if you got the experience, it helps out a whole lot. But as doing the recruiting and hiring the people at the job that I'm at today,
hmm,
you really got to know someone within that organization, whatever you're trying to get to.
okay,
So it's a very hard process. Like you can send the resumes out all the time, but if you don't know someone, it's very difficult.
okay. So the voc rehab was your networking process.
But yes,
So okay, it was your networking process. Okay, so with everything that you've said, pertaining to your job, moving, your education, and your family. We didn't touch on your family. So how did your family deal with the transitioning process from military to civilian world?
well, most of my kids were out of school, except
Okay,
for the youngest one. And once we got here, once he got became a senior, I was in the problem, was ready to retire.
child. Okay,
So they kind of dealt with it pretty good. They was on their way and starting their life,
okay. So it wasn't. It
so it
was
wasn't affecting them.
okay. The transition rate didn't affect them. So I want to thank you. Before I close the session, I got one last question. In your opinion, um, your process, was it difficult transitioning from one lifestyle or one life to another life?
Yes, it was difficult because I had been in the military for, like I say, 24 years, and you know what you're gonna do in the military. They have you on a certain routine. You got to be at one place, then you got to be here. So once I got out, it's like starting over. So I had to retrain myself to civilian life.
Okay,
So it did affect me a lot.
it did.
Yes.
Okay, so what would you what would you tell the next person that's transitioning from the military to civilian life? What advice would you give them?
Uh, Degree is good to have, but try to get as much experience as you can. And I will say the vocational rehab, if you're a veteran, it really helps out. It
Okay,
will give you to a place where you can get the training that you need.
okay, okay. So, with all that being said, I want to thank you for your time, and I want to thank you for sitting down and explaining to me the process And if I was a veteran, then because of what you've explained to me, how the vote rehab have helped you, you crossed several bridges during your transition. I really would recommend vote rehab to anybody that's separating from the military. If it's just for counseling, would you agree with me?
Yes, I will.
All right. Thank you so very much for your time, and I appreciate it. And you have a good day. Okay.
Okay.